Congratulations, you made it to the last week. I know that's a lot of week packed into 6 weeks, but this is it. You're at that final stretch. So let's get into what you're going to be doing this week, and then I'll also just tie together some of those logistical things for the end of the semester that you might want to know about. All right, taking a look here at the outline for this week. Review the feedback I give you from your profile story. I should have this feedback to you no later than, well, before Wednesday, basically. So Monday, Tuesday, hopefully Monday I can get through them all, but if not, by Tuesday I'll have get through all the profile stories, give you feedback on it, and then this way you can apply the feedback to your final assignment. So you've probably already begun your final assignment, hopefully, but even if you have it written or some of it written, seeing the feedback that I give you could help you out with, especially if it's like AP style stuff, especially if it's story structure, if you're doing another profile story for your final, and I give you some feedback on how to reorder it, or just basic, general broad advice and tips. You then can apply it on your final story and not continue to make those mistakes. So that's why I'm going to get that feedback to you really early in the week so you can take a look at it, and anything that is applicable to your final assignment you'll be able to do before you submit your final assignment. You're also going to complete the exercise and finish up those quizzes. So I gave you the readings last week. You have 4 chapters, 2 quizzes, 4 chapters I gave you last week. All that is due by the end of the week, so you get those quizzes done. You should have already begun the reading, but if you haven't, you have a lot of chapters to get through. So make sure that you're doing that. That you get that done by the end of this week. And then the exercise, I'm going to show you the exercise in a minute under homework. It is a new exercise, like I alluded to last week. You do have one last exercise, though this one is not very writing intensive. It's more of an analysis. So not that I'm going to say it's easy, but I don't think it's going to take you as much time as maybe some of the other exercises that you've had to do for the class. And then, of course, finish up your final story. And this is going to take you time. So, I'm generalizing here, and this happens to everybody, so this is not a criticism. It's just an observation. I think what happens with a lot of us when we first do these first few stories is that we don't take as much time on it as we really needed to, especially when it comes to the editing. So we might spend a little bit of time on the writing, right? You have to go out, do the interviews, and write. But then that's the only time you look at it, or maybe you read through it once, make a couple of changes, and submit it. The editing is going to take you the most time. Hopefully you've seen that now through your first few assignments, your writing assignments. That's where I'm really looking for you. Are you making AP mistakes? Is your story structure, does it make sense? Do you have careless errors in there? Did you give proper attribution? So did you attribute? So when you say a quote, did you say who that quote came from? All those little things could get lost if you're not doing really intense editing. So for this final story, this is going to take you a lot of time. I mean, that's like a theme that's been going out through this class, right? This is going to take you time. It's going to probably take you a few hours just for the editing alone. So make sure you're allocating enough time by the end of the week after you've gotten my feedback from the profile story and going through and really editing it. I've already said it before in another video, editing in layers. It's one of the most helpful tips I've ever heard. So you're going to read through your story. First time you read through it, I'm just going to look to see if story structure makes sense. Do I have things in the right order, I think, in the story? Then I might read through a second time. I'm just looking for AP mistakes. I don't care about story structure. I don't care about paragraph length. Just looking for AP mistakes. Then the third time, maybe go through your paragraph length. Are my paragraphs all 1 to 3 sentences? Are there any paragraphs that are more than 5 sentences? If so, I got to cut it down, and that's all you're looking for. And so you're going to read through your story 6, 7, 10 times, depending on each time what you're looking for. But each time you're only looking for one kind of set of errors, and that's going to really help your editing. All right, so that's what you got for this week. Let's go into homework and final assignment. We've already talked about your quizzes that you need to get done if you haven't already. And here's the new one for this week, the exercise. It's, you're going to be looking a little bit on how advertising is written. So we've done public relations, we've done broadcast media, we've done print, and online, so journalistic. And this is advertising. Now, I'm not going to actually have you write an ad. What you're going to do is analyze one. And where this is also a little different is it's not from your book. It's from a reading here that I give you. Your book doesn't really go into it, and this reading that I've given you here, I think is one of the best that I've seen. So, let's just get right into it. So, of course, it's due Sunday by June 30th before Monday. It's worth 50 points. You're going to read the analysis of what makes a quality magazine ad. So we're focusing just on magazine ads right now, how you write for a good magazine ad. Here's the reading that I was just talking about. You'll see it's a few pages long here. really not that intense. That's really the core reading. Then there's a bunch of examples that they give you that you, of course, can look at and will help you out. But this is what you're mainly reading about magazine writing. And this section right here is what your analysis is going to be about. So let's take a look at that. After you've read that, I want you then to answer these questions for the ad, for this ad. So here's the ad that I'm having you guys analyze. You can see not that intense here, but here's your ad that you're going to be analyzing, and you're going to answer these questions. What is the message of the ad, and how did it convey it well? Why or why not? Be as specific as possible with your examples and connect them to the lessons from your reading. So what I mean by that is, this is what I don't want, some kind of answer that goes on this variation. The message was very powerful. It told us not to do this, whatever. Okay, yes, that is generally the message, but why was it powerful? You said it's powerful. Well, why? So you're telling me it conveyed it well then, I guess. So why? What are the reasons? And how you're going to do that is connect examples that you give me with the lessons from the reading. So in here, even under message, it will tell you what makes for a good message. Up here, tells you how you come up with overall message. It's going to give you some kind of principles. Connect with the principles. So the book says that you should do this, and I noticed this being applied in this ad when the ad said this, or when the ad did this. That's giving me a specific example. So that's what I'm looking for with that. How is the headline copy written in a way that reading suggests that you should write it? Again, take a look at the reading. How does the reading say what's usually best practice for making a good headline? It's going to give you a couple examples, things you can do. And then anytime you see one of the examples the book gives you, tell me how it was applied in that actual ad. You guys are getting the idea here. What I don't want is just one sentence answers saying, the headline was really good. It said we should be bold. Okay, well, how should you be bold? Well, how did it tell you to be bold? What did the ad actually do that made it bold? You get the idea. Get as specific as possible. I don't have like a word count in here, but I want you to give me concrete examples and go through all these. And then that will be your exercise. Again, I don't think this one is going to take you very long. It's probably going to be the shortest compared to the other exercises that you've had. But I'm not looking for one sentence answers for all of these. I want you to give me some kind of level of analysis. All right, so I mean, this is pretty obvious, but going to due dates here, as you can see, this is our last day everything is due, this Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So you've got your final assignment, those chapter quizzes if you haven't completed them yet, and the magazine ad exercise, and that's it. And then I will have everything graded by the end of the day, Tuesday, July 2nd. So before Wednesday the 3rd. Basically, I'm going to have everything graded within these 2 days. You'll be able to go to your grades, and you'll be able to take a look. Again, remember the course is based out of 1,000 points, just per the syllabus, so it's out of 1,000 points. And it's your typical grade scale. 90 to 92 is a A-, 93 and above is an A, 89 to 87 is a B+. You get the idea, and so on and so forth. So that is the grade scale, so you can just take a look at what your total points are for the class, and that's what your final grade is. If you do have any questions, though, about your grade, about an assignment, and I'm not going to haggle with you with past assignments, so I'll just get this little sidebar here, but don't look at your grade and then all of a sudden say, well, never mind, I disagree with the grade you gave me with the hard news story from 3 weeks ago, and you had your chance already to talk about it with me then, so I'm not going to start haggling with grades. But especially with this final assignment or some of these other ones, if you have a specific question still, just like any of the other weeks that we've had, you can still reach out to me and say, oh, I'm just, checking on this, or I'm a little confused about this. And, if you think that I've made an error, you have to come with some evidence and some proof. But of course, I don't want you to sit there and feel like, something happened, you don't understand why you got what you got, or whatever it is. You, of course, with evidence can come to me and say, oh, I'm a little confused by this. If I said you were short the word count, for example, and you look and you say, no, I do have the word count, that could be an error on my part. That's a specific thing that you can come to me and show me, yeah, I messed that up. So I say this because I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I say this that if you do have an issue or a concern or a question, you have to get back to me around on the 3rd. The 4th is 4th of July, and grades are getting submitted by the 5th. So really, it's Wednesday the 3rd. By the end of the day, the 3rd, you have to let me know, if you did have a question, because grades are then getting submitted after that. So check your grades for Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday at the end of the day, the latest. Wednesday is the latest you really have to get back to me. And then, enjoy the rest of your summer. That will be it. I don't know if you take another summer class, but if not, enjoy that break. And it was, great having you. So I will end class with this saying, look, these summer classes are tough. I know they are. You had to pack a full semester in what is less than half a semester's time. So that's very impressive. You should be real proud of yourselves. It's a lot of work you had to do. Hopefully you're able to, even in the short amount of time, hopefully feel like you have a better grasp of how you write for the media. Maybe you have some interest now. You realize you like writing for public relations or journalistic or broadcast, and to help you take future classes in them. This just kind of gives you a little taste. Of course, we could expand on all these topics. This was just scratching the surface. So there's so much more to learn on any of these. So if you're interested in them, please take more classes, and you're going to see, you're going to see like how much more there is to all this and how much creativity and fun you can have with it all. If you do have any questions too, of course, I won't be checking my messages in this module anymore after this summer semester, but feel free to email me, chiara@hartford.edu. Go ahead and give me an email sometime if you have some questions in the future. And hopefully I even see you in a future class and in person. I teach on ground during the semester, so I hope I can maybe get you in an actual class too. It's great working with you. As always, any questions, message me. I'd be happy to talk. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the summer.